guys, welcome back. I'm Laura with Down Home with Lemon Pie, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the read aloud choices that we've chosen to use for the 2020-2021 school year. That's hard to say. We are using My Father's World, the Countries and Cultures, Exploring Countries and Cultures curriculum. So these are the read alouds that I've chosen to go with it because I actually am not doing the read alouds that they recommend. All right guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, I'm Laura Wilkie. I'm a Christian stay-at-home homeschool mom of 6. My kids are 9, 7, 6, 4, and I have twins that are 2. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this upcoming school year. I know I've mentioned it in several of our videos already, and it is just so exciting to learn about people and places around the world. This video I'm going to be telling you about the read aloud choices. My Father's World, Exploring Countries and Cultures is part of the family learning plan, and I will link that below so you know what I'm talking about. But the way it works is at this level, we do everything as a family, which we've already been doing as a family already, but just on my own leisure and with the subjects that I choose. Now it's part of our curriculum and I'm so excited. So my 2 boys that are 6 and 4 are actually just going to be tagging along, listening mostly, and doing some other things on their own. But they're still going to be listening in the read alouds, and I still want them to be exposed and knowledgeable about the countries and cultures that we're studying. So this is the read alouds that they want us to do. I think these are fabulous. Each book, there's I think 6 that they recommend. Each one is a chapter book about missionaries from each country that we're going to be studying. This is just a little bit much for all my little listeners. So I'm definitely going to work on collecting these over the next 5 years maybe. And when we get back around to exploring countries and cultures, my kids will all be a little bit older, and I think that that's when I'm going to tackle these. I just don't think that this is the right thing for us right now. So that left us with no read alouds. And I wanted the read alouds to tie into our curriculum. I always try to get all of our subjects to kind of meld together. So I wanted the read alouds to blend easily with what we're studying. I wanted them to focus on things like other countries, other cultures, missionaries, those kinds of things, and really kind of expose us to what it's like to live somewhere else. I used the curriculum manual. It has in the back of it recommended chapter books and picture books and read alouds if you want to add to your curriculum. So I used that as my jumping off point, and I selected a lot of those. We also have family that have been homeschooling for years prior to us starting. So we have been given lots of hand-me-downs. So that was where I went first, to that book and to our hand-me-down books, because I knew I wanted a lot of read alouds and I didn't want to have to buy them all. I also selected based on countries that we're going to be studying. So I will tell you the country that it is related to so that you know where it falls in our curriculum. I have a little list to help me. This is actually a list that I made of all of our book basket and read aloud choices. I have to make lists all the time so that I can stay focused. So this is my 2020-2021 book basket and read aloud list, and I'm going to show you just the read alouds. In another video, I'll show you the book basket. We have already started our read alouds for this curriculum because I had so many that I found that I wanted us to read that we started them in the summer. So go back some videos, look at my summer read aloud choices, that video, and it'll tell you the read alouds that we have already started. So the first book I chose is really not related to countries or cultures at all. And I don't know where I'm gonna fit it. It's not even, I don't know if we're gonna do it at the beginning of the year or somewhere in the middle when we have kind of a gap between, like if we finish a book before we're ready to start the next country, I might slide it in there. Haven't really decided, but I ordered from Thrift Books, and when you order so many books on Thrift Books, then you get a free book. And this was the free book that I chose, and I chose it because I knew there was a movie to go along with it, so I knew that it would be fun for like a fun family movie night. And I also knew that my boys love cars, and it's about cars, and it's an old-fashioned movie that I saw in my childhood. So it kind of had some sentimental value. So I chose Chitty, Chitty, Bang, Bang. I didn't even know it was a book. But I think that they're gonna really enjoy it. And like I said, it'll make for a fun family night. So this is just kind of a fun book. It's not, it doesn't really, I'm not expecting it to have educational value. It's certainly not gonna have any cultural value, I don't think. And, but it'll just be a fun read aloud for us to do that I think the boys will enjoy. Okay, so here's the first one I selected, 100 Dresses. This is recommended in so many curriculums. We have not read it yet, but I figured if it is recommended in all of these other curriculums, it must be good. So it was recommended in this one that we're doing in My Father's World. It was recommended in Sunlight. I'm pretty sure it's recommended in Heart of Dakota. So I figured we gotta try it. So, and I think Good and Beautiful too. So I went ahead and purchased this one. I get almost all of the books from Thrift Books. So the link's below if you want to know what I'm talking about. So this one's going to be our book for America. It's about a girl, and she claims to have a bunch of dresses, and then she actually doesn't. She moves, and they find out that she actually didn't have all those dresses. It has a really high moral value. So that's one of the reasons I also selected this one. So the next one I picked is for Canada, and I picked Anne of Green Gables. I did get the abridged version. It's by Classic Start, so it does have the larger font and the pictures throughout, so that we can keep interested, because once again, my kids are little and I didn't want to be overwhelming them with so much reading. So this is Anne of Green Gables. Again, there's a movie to go with it, so I'm excited about that. I love doing books and then watching the movie for family night. The kids really look forward to that. Okay, so let me see. Switzerland, Belize, Jamaica, another one for America, Switzerland, 2 in England, and Romania we're doing this summer. So if you're wondering about those, what books I chose for those countries, they're in the summer read alouds video. All right, the next one I chose is Holland. This is the Dutch twins. This is an extremely old book or story by Lucy Fitch Perkins. She has a ton of these. Just fill in the blank. It's the blank twins, the Eskimo twins, the French twins, the Scottish twin, whatever. And so we've read this already. I did this with my oldest when she was in kindergarten. It's such a cute story. It's about these 2 little twins, girl-boy twins, and which we have, so that's fun. And just about their adventures in Holland. It is quite a bit dated. I think it was written in 1920s. Every now and then it has some language that may not be relevant to or appropriate to today's standards, but I don't think that's a reason to discredit the book altogether, because we don't need to judge other literature from previous time periods by the standards that we have today. That is how it was back then. So that is why I'm okay with introducing this. There are a couple things that I just kind of read ahead and skip over. And that's why I recommend these as a read aloud, not necessarily as a book for them to read on their own, because you can kind of see what's coming and edit it if you need to. So I picked this one. This is Dutch Twins. I actually picked another one later, I'll tell you, from the same author. France. I found this. Never heard of this. This was actually not even recommended by anything or anywhere. I just happened across it on thrift books when I was browsing for a French book. I was having a hard time, and I love it so much. It's about a little girl. She moves to France, and this whole story is told with stamps, like postage stamps. Look. So she's talking about what it's like where they live, and then here's the stamp. And then she talks about, you know, they go on this adventure here, and here's a stamp. The whole thing is like that. People she meets, things she does, whatever. And it's just about her life in France. But it has all these stamps, which I thought would be a fun cultural addition. I also liked that it's not very long. So since I had so many books chosen, I liked that this one wasn't going to take us very long. So anyway, so that's for France. Okay, the next one I chose is for Norway. This was recommended in the teacher manual for exploring countries and cultures, and it is Snow Treasure. This one's a little bit more lengthy, so I almost didn't pick it, but it was highly recommended. Even the reviews like on Amazon and on thrift books were just through the roof, so I knew that it probably was going to be really worth it. It's basically about these two children who have to get a bunch of money to out of Norway, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah. This is during, they're having to go past the Nazi guards. This is a time period that we have not addressed. We have not discussed this, the Holocaust or any of that. My kids are young, like I told you, so we have not gotten there. So I'm a little bit interested in seeing how it's going to approach that. I may have to read this beforehand to know where to edit, but if I need to, I want to approach those subjects. I want them to know about that kind of stuff, about history, but I want to be careful about how I do it. And I want to make sure that I'm doing it at the right time. And I don't know that we're at the right time. We're still going to read this. I'm still excited about it. I love it. I love the idea of it, and I don't think it's going to have a lot of that in it. So I think that I'll be able to have a couple discussions with them, and it'll be fine. And so that's for Norway. Okay, the next one is for Belgium. This one was given to us. It's a hand-me-down. It's not very long. It is the Belgium book Mystery. There's a bunch of these. It's by Ruby Slipper School. I'm excited about this one because these are some kids that are homeschooled, and we homeschool, so I love that. It's a mystery. My kids like mysteries, so that'll be fun. It's not very long. It does have pictures throughout. Well, I say that, and then I can't find one. There you go. So I am really excited about it. I don't know if it's going to give us a lot of information about Belgium. I did see on thrift books that there were a couple other books in this series. So if we like it, I might get them to be chapter books that my daughter can read aloud, because I talked about she's going to be kind of doing some of her own reading for reading lesson of her own choice. So if this is something she really likes, then I might try to get her some of these to go with it. Okay, so Africa is next. I had a hard time finding a book for Africa that wasn't a picture book and wasn't cheesy. I wanted it to be true to life, and Africa has so many countries and so many different cultures and things going on. It was hard to choose. So I went to do the teacher manual, and this is one that was recommended for Africa. We already had this, and I debated and debated and debated. Everything I read about it online said they needed to be older. So I chose to read it myself. I agree. They need to be older. This actually follows two stories at the same time. It's an amazing story for grown-ups and maybe teenagers. I highly recommend this book, even for grown-ups. I loved it. One story that is going on, it has them divided like this. So the two different colors. So each chapter has this story and then this story. And The first story is very much appropriate for children. I actually added it to our book basket because I found it in picture book form, which I thought would be a little bit easier for them. But the other story has a lot of intense things. It has some death, brutal things like that. It has very hard, lot of hardships. It's just a little bit more intense. I didn't think it was a bad book. I think it's great, and I think we're going to do it again when we come back to this. And I'll keep it for a chapter book that my kids can read when they're older, but not right now. So I didn't choose that one. Instead, I chose this, A Kimbo and the Lions. I have not read this. I don't know if it's good. I did see it's part of a series. There's also A Kimbo and the Snakes, A Kimbo and some other animals. He lives in Africa, so I kind of think it's going to be really good. Again, it's not very long, so that was what I was looking for, because we don't necessarily have the longest attention spans for read-alouds for hours. So I liked that. I'm excited to see if it's good, because if it is good, I think it might be one that I can use for a early chapter book for like my boys, because I think it's going to be a high interest book for boys. So that was another reason I chose it, because I wanted things to be where they feel included too. All right, the next book I have is for India, and it's Jungle Book. I chose this because of two reasons. It's a classic. It has a movie to go with it, and I think they're going to enjoy it. I did get, again, the abridged version so that it doesn't take us all year. I like to do read-alouds. I don't like read-alouds that take me forever. All right, the next one I chose is for China. I chose this one, A Grain of Rice. Again, I've seen it recommended over and over and over on several other curriculums. Sunlight, this one recommended it in the back. I think Good and the Beautiful recommends it, I think. And I think Heart of Dakota, I can't remember, but I've seen it over and over. So I wanted to read it. It is, again, not going to take us very long. The whole book is like this, so it kind of is, I think it's going to be an easy, quick read. The next one I have is Japan, and I chose this, but Japan. So it's the Japanese twins. I don't have it to show you for a couple of reasons. If you go on Amazon, these are super hard to find, by the way. But if you go on Amazon, they have all of the Lucy Fitch Perkins books in one book for your Kindle. And years ago, when my oldest, who's going to 4th grade, was in kindergarten, that's how I purchased it. So we could just do whatever. Then I realized I do not like reading on Kindle. I just don't. I like to actually have the book. I don't want to have to worry about if it's charged. I don't want to have to worry about, carrying it outside and now it's overheated. I just want to have the book. But I couldn't do that because the version that they have on Amazon that you can order does not have the original illustrations, which I think is so important because the book touches, like, we've already read it. We read it in kindergarten, and it touches on so many cultural things, and the illustrations are so important for that book. So we're gonna use the Kindle, and I'm just gonna have to tough it out, but it'll be fine. I would not do all of my read-alouds on Kindle, but one I can handle, so I'll be fine. Just don't like it. Okay, the next one I have is for New Guinea. This is the book I'm choosing for the Australia region. It's New Guinea, not quite Australia, but I think it's going to be good. It's also a book that we already had because it was a hand-me-down book, and it is A Question of Yams. I think it's going to be great. It says it's a missionary story based on true events. This is put out by Bob Jones Press, same as one of the ones that we read in our summer school. You can go back and look, but same as that book. That one was so good. The kids loved it and looked forward to reading it. So I think this is going to be the same. I don't have any concerns about it. I think it's going to be the same. I'm excited to read it. I'm pretty sure, I saw it on their website, so you can still get it. I'll even link it for you. 2 books left. This is the one I chose for Antarctica. It doesn't technically take place in Antarctica, but that's the book that we're choosing because it is about penguins, Mr. Popper's penguins. There is some, this is highly recommended, and it was also in our teacher manual as a recommendation. When I looked it up on Good and the Beautiful's website about, they have a lot of the books that we, standards that we use for books. So they actually didn't recommend this because they talked about how the father is so obsessed with his penguins that he kind of neglects his family. I'm going to kind of take that information and file it away, and we'll probably address it verbally, but I don't think it's a reason we shouldn't read this book. So we're still going to read it, and I think there's a movie, maybe, I hope, because the kids would like that, because this is at the very end of our school year. Okay, so that was it. That was all of the books I had chosen, and I was done with my read alouds, all done, not gonna pick any more. And then we went to a book library. You know those little boxes out on the side of the street where you can take your books, put them in the box, and get one to take home? Yes, we went to one of those, and I love those because I can trade out my books. Except I saw a book that I have seen recommended over and over and over, and I have neglected to read it. Clearly God wants me to read it because there it was for free, and immediately when I saw it, I grabbed it. I knew, I heard the message. I knew I needed to read it, so I grabbed it, brought it home, literally could not put it down. Like, I was reading it while I was making my kids lunch. I was reading it every chance I got all day long with the kids. You know, I'm reading it in between doing all the things. I think it's going to be a good way to start our school year. I know I had some other things that I was planning, but this is, I think, going to take precedence. Sometimes our plans are not what we need to be doing. Sometimes we need to be listening to God. So this is the book that it is, Catching Their Talk in a Box. It didn't look interesting to me at all. It just looked like, meh. Which is why I had always bypassed it. When I saw it in the box, I thought, whoa, you know, this is about missionaries. We're studying missionaries. This is about a lady who goes all around the world, and that's what we're studying, missionaries all around the world. So this is about a lady. She put the Bible on discs years ago, before that was simple, and has it in each language where she goes, and she talks about how she does it and the hardships. It's a huge book about trusting God. I immediately, like the same day I got it, read half of it and immediately sent a picture to my friend and said, you got to read this too. So okay, so the first 2 weeks of our school year are actually introduction weeks. I think that's going to be a perfect time to do this. That was when I was going to do Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think this one's going to top that. So I think I'll do that one first and then start on with our America books. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. My twin woke up, so here she is. This is Ivy. But thanks for watching. I hope that you could use some of those recommendations. If you're doing Exploring Countries and Cultures, or you know of other books that are useful for that, those kinds of studies, let me know. I'd love to see them. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because you don't know what you're gonna miss. I'm doing a whole series right now on curriculum and what we're using for the 2020-2021 school year. All right, so if you wanna see kind of behind the scenes, see how this is all going down in our home, what we're doing, find me on Instagram or Facebook. That's the best thing, the link's below. I'll link all of these books so that you can also find them, and check out my blog. That's where I've got all of our Christian living tips, mom tips, motherhood, recipes, homeschool schedules, all the things are there. So anyways, until next time, see you later.